Gung Hee Fat Choi.
Gung Hee Fat Choi.
Yee. Great job. You may not be aware of it, but tomorrow at midnight, the 23rd of January, is the beginning of the Chinese New Year. Yay! The year 2012. We're so lucky to be live Hawaii. Because here we are at this amazing place where the East and the West meet, and those of us who live here get to taste the deliciousness of all the cultures of the world and all of the celebrations, all of the spiritual events. It's a fantastic thing. We get to be very much aware of Chinese New Year. I could say Gung Hee Fat Choi to people in Waco, Texas, and I would not have the same response. So lucky we live Hawaii. So lucky. It's an important celebration. The Chinese calendar is a lunar solar calendar. It's divided into 12-year cycles. We've all been to Chinese restaurants and you've seen the 12 zodiac signs. Each year of a Chinese calendar 12-year cycle is ruled over by the spirit of an animal. Legend says that before Gautama Buddha was about to die and ascend into his next level of being, he issued a call for all the animals of the earth to gather together. And only 12 came. Guess which 12 they were? They are the 12 that ended up being on the 12 signs of the Chinese zodiac. It's an important thing for us, and I really want to invite you to step in to that celebration. I believe there's an important couple of reasons to do that. First of all, there are 2.1 billion Chinese people in the world who will be doing it. If you add the rest of the Chinese people that are living outside of China, there's 3 billion. And if you add in all of the Asian people in the East who are celebrating in accordance with the Chinese zodiac calendar, there are 4 billion people on the planet who will be celebrating Chinese New Year's. It behooves us to join the party. 4 billion people will be celebrating and acknowledging the advent of the coming of the year of the dragon. So it's to our benefit to join that huge and amazing energy of almost 2/3 of the planet. The reason we want to be a part of that energy is a phenomenon known as collective consciousness. It's when there are whole masses and groups of people that begin holding ideas together, those ideas become manifest. Collective consciousness is incredibly powerful. It was first written and talked about by Carl Jung, the great social therapist of the world. Nowadays, in modern language, you have other words for it. They'll call it the hive mentality, group think. There's all kinds of ways to describe it, but it is still that amazing phenomena that built the Berlin Wall and the amazing phenomena that took down the Berlin Wall. This collective consciousness is incredibly powerful. I want to share with you a reading from a collection of books called The Cedars of Russia. Collective thought is very powerful. It is unparalleled. It is unique. Nothing can resist both its might and deeds. Actually, the whole of matter is nothing else but a collective thought reflection. Virtually all artificial mechanisms have been produced by it. Vladimir Megre, Cedars of Russia. Virtually everything that we are seeing in terms of social structures in the world, everything we're seeing in terms of government, they were all brought into existence because of collective thought. So imagine 4 billion people saying Gung Hee Fat Choi. Now, do you know what that means? It's very important on a Chinese holiday to have a certain phrase that's repeated over and over and over again. Most people think it means Happy New Year in Chinese, but it doesn't. It means congratulations, be prosperous. Now that's a whole other thing, isn't it? Congratulations, be prosperous. Can you try it? Let's try it. Congratulations, be prosperous. Okay, that's lovely, but we set it to the air. The air is already prosperous. Say it to your neighbor. Turn to them and say, hey, congratulations. Be prosperous. Okay. Do you know what I notice? Big smiles on your face. Everybody's going, yeah, okay, good. Congratulate me. Be prosperous. I want you to imagine 4 billion people holding that thought for you. Congratulations to you and be prosperous. This is the year of the dragon, 2012. It is also the year of water because in conjunction with the animals, there's also certain earth elements that rotate through the calendar. There's earth, wood, fire, water, and I think there's a couple other ones. But they don't all coincide. There's not 12. The last time we had a year of dragon and water together, which is what we have now, which is incredibly powerful, was 1952. Now, you don't have to raise your hand, but I suspect some of you might have been born in 1952. A very powerful year. This idea of collective consciousness is part and parcel of why I am inviting you to step into that activity of celebrating Chinese New Year for your own life and celebrating the year of the dragon. And you may say, well, that's lovely. But I wasn't born in 1952. I'm not a dragon, I'm a rat, or I'm a snake, or I'm a horse, or any of the other animals that go along in there. Wow. You see, unity is a metaphysical gift. It's a metaphysical church, and there are great gifts. Because when you live a metaphysical life, everything has meaning. Meaning that other people didn't see. And if you don't see it, you can give it meaning. And it will have powerful meaning. Somebody sent me a video this week. People send stuff to me all the time. It's a picture of this cat. A really nice cat who's just laying down, just as happy as it can be. And then there's this little white parakeet that is circling all around the cat, cleaning it, preening it, what birds do. He's cleaning the cat's paws. He's going up, cleaning the nose, and the cat's just going, over here, don't miss a spot. And they're like friends. Now, some people say, oh, that's really cute. But you see, I'm metaphysical. There's deep and powerful meaning in that. And there is. Don't you get the deep and powerful meaning? Here are two animals that are supposed to be arch enemies, and they're friends. How did that happen? Well, they didn't show the rest of the video, but I'm assured that the bird continued on. I'm just real positive. So here's the idea. You have a physical birth. We all have physical birth. Jesus at one point said that man must be born of water, but he also must be born of spirit. There are two births in your life. And actually, the second one is one that happens over and over and over again. Jesus said, you must be born again. And Paul said, I die daily, which means he must have been born daily as well, too, because he was still around when he was saying that. So there was a constant dying and a constant being reborn for us. And you know that every time we step into a new situation, every time we step into something that is a new thing for ourselves, it is like a rebirth. Charles Fillmore actually describes this rebirthing process in these words. He's the co-founder of Unity, and he says, the awakening of man to a consciousness of his unity with the one universal spirit, it is the change that comes here and now. This heading falls under the category of the definition for born again, for new birth. It is an awakening to our oneness with God. Now, doesn't that happen over and over and again for us? It happens at different moments. For some people, it may happen when you stand on the edge of the Grand Canyon. For some people, it may happen when you stand at the edge of a great loss in life. For some people, it may happen when you stand at the beginning of a new opportunity in life. There may be these moments where you're knowing your oneness, and that moment is an opportunity of new birth. So here is my suggestion to you. We are standing at the opportunity of a new year, the birth of the dragon. I invite you to step into a spiritual birth during this year. 2 weeks ago, I talked about liberation. This is a year of liberation. I'm inviting you to consider your liberation beginning with a new birth. Because being born in the year of the dragon is incredibly important. The dragon is, of all of the signs of the zodiac, the most auspicious animal character in the zodiac. It is also the only one on the zodiac that is not a real animal. It's very powerful. It is considered the most supreme of all the animals. Most of the rulers throughout Asia, when they want to claim a totem for themselves, they claim the dragon. Because the dragon is actually made up of several different characters. He's made up of a snake. He's made up of a fish. He's made up of an eagle. And one other, a tiger. And with having all of those elements in it, one of the reasons that the dragon is so powerful is that he's able to fly. He's able to walk on the land, and he's able to swim in the ocean. This is an animal that can do everything. This is a super being animal. And it's no coincidence, I don't believe, that we have declared this year, a year of liberation, and this is also the year of the dragon. Now, how that fits with you and me is that we can choose to be born spiritually in this year, and then guess what? You will be born metaphysically in the year of the dragon. Because the Chinese say, when you are born, that animal that is born under the sign of which you are born is the spirit that hides in your heart. So I want you to imagine, as you step into a year of liberation, that the spirit of the dragon is hiding in your heart. Do you see the gift in now being able to celebrate? Now, here's the really good news. If you decide and choose that you want to indeed have a spiritual birth in the year of the dragon, there are 4 billion people in the world who will be celebrating you. That's a lot. These are some of the characteristics of a dragon spirit. They are passionate, powerful, wise, innovative, self-assured, brave, enterprising, the free spirit of the Chinese zodiac. They are fearless, confident, and ready for any challenge. Now, does that sound like the kind of characteristics we need to step into a year of liberation? If you are ready to break the ties of all those things that are holding you back and binding you away from that conscious union with God to step into real spiritual liberation, these are the tools. And if you would dare to choose to be born in this year spiritually, to choose to do that, then these gifts will be yours. You say, oh, that's really great. How do we do that? Well, we don't do it alone. Paul said in his letter to Romans, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loved us. We have that spirit of the dragon, but we also have in us the Spirit of God, who will lead us to conquer everything that's in our way into liberation. So here's step 1. Claim this year as your birthright. You see, we can talk about it. You go, well, that's a really nice and interesting idea, and I learned a lot about Chinese New Year. How lovely. But if you don't claim it and say, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually make this year a year when I am consciously born into this year and consciously stepping into liberation. I'm going to do that. I don't care when I was born. I'm being born right now again. If you claim that for yourself, that's step number 1. Step number 2 is then you begin to use those dragon powers because you have claimed them for yourself to actually step into liberation. You use the wisdom. You use that fearlessness. You use that confidence. You tap into those things, and then you walk that journey. Are you wanting to do that? Okay, good. Then if you are, I'm going to give you some claiming things. I want you to say with me, this is my year of rebirth. Can you say that with me together? This is my year of rebirth. Okay, know what you're saying. You're saying, this doesn't mean it's going to be the only year, because there's going to be many times, and you may even do it several times this year. This is the coming year of the dragon. I want you to claim that. Can you say, this is the year of my rebirth? Again, this is the year of my rebirth. And because you've claimed it, then you can say with confidence, the spirit of the dragon lives in me. Together, the spirit of the dragon lives in me. How beautiful is that? Now here's the best, most fun part of all. 4 billion people are celebrating my birth and liberation. Together, 4 billion people are celebrating my birth and liberation. Good. So now you can say, as an authentic person born again in the year of the dragon, Gung Hee Fat Choi. Gung Hee Fat Choi. Now you turn to your neighbor and tell them, remind them together, Gung Hee Fat Choi. Good. Now people in this half of the church, turn around and say it to that half of the church. Gung Hee Fat Choi. Now you say it to this half over here. Gung Hee Fat Choi. Oh, good. Now I want you to imagine 4 billion people all over the world are looking at you and pointing at you because you are being born in the year of the dragon, and they're all saying it all together. Gung Hee Fat Choi. You are powerful beings. And I salute that dragon spirit in each and every one of you. Will you close your eyes with me for just a minute, please? We know that all these shifts of consciousness take place inside us in a spiritual contract with God. When we say, yes, God, I want to be born anew this year. And I want to use all of those gifts that comes with the spirit of the dragon to achieve my liberation. I want to join with the energy of all the people on the planet that are claiming the attributes, the traits, the characteristics, the power of this mythical beast. It is in me. It is a power that is leading me to my freedom and to my oneness with you. In these quiet moments, feel that power. Feel the love. As we come together to God in the sacred and holy silence.